Alright guys, welcome back to Our World Outdoors. Now today we're going to be doing a review of the DEERFAMY Sleep Pad. Now this is the 25-inch lay flat version. This is a car camping pad. This is not for backpacking. You can carry this if you want to, but I would not. Now, as far as car camping goes, I definitely have a lot of issues with it because I'm a side sleeper. So if I'm not in my hammock, then I end up getting a lot of aches and pains the next morning. And actually this sleeping pad has solved that, but we can get more into that later. So let's get on with the video. All right, so we should probably start off by going over the specs here. So to start off with, this is 25 inches wide. And when totally rolled out, it's about 77 inches. So plenty of space to lay on this thing to be comfortable. Now, it is 1.5 inch thick foam inside of it. So it will self-inflate somewhat, but I do recommend adding a few breaths to fully inflate it, especially if you're a side sleeper. That should bring you to somewhere around over 2 inches. Now you will not touch the ground, I can promise you that. It's been tested through and through. So as we open it, you're gonna see that it's not small. Technically you could strap it onto your backpack, but I would not suggest it. But this has a lot of features that truly make it different from other sleeping pads, especially at its price point. This thing comes in somewhere between $33 and $20, depending on if it's on sale or not. I will have links down in the description below that'll take you to Amazon or to the DEERFAMY actual store. Just have to see which one's cheaper at the time you're trying to purchase. Now moving on. One of the things that I really like about this pad is I'm getting a second one because they have snaps all the way down it to make it overlay and make a double pad. Now when I say lay flat, I actually mean it's flat. There's no baffling, which makes side sleeping nice because you're actually laying on a flat surface and not getting in between the grooves or the baffles. As far as noise, it actually doesn't make as much as most of the other pads. I'm not exactly sure why. This is made of much heavier fabric though than you would normally see in a sleeping pad, so puncturing is nearly impossible. You would have to be on a straight up thorn going straight up like this and into this to end up popping it. That said, you're still not going to sleep on the ground at night because, as I said, it's filled with 1.5 inch foam. It really makes it so that you're going to have a comfortable night's sleep no matter what goes down. Now, to inflate the pad, the first thing you do is you just open the valve and leave it alone. It will actually somewhat self-inflate. Now, it's not as much of a self-inflate as other pads, but just the foam stretches out, the air fills the chamber, and makes it easier to blow up. Now when you're actually ready to blow it up, just loosen the valve. And just like that, within 8 to 10 breaths, it's fully filled. All right, so looking at it from its side view, you can see how thick it is. It doesn't look very thick. But look at how much pressure it takes to even start to move it. One of the most important things you have to remember about this is the foam inside of it combined with the air makes it so it won't collapse like normal pads do. Now the R4, there's no joke there. It actually does keep the cold out. I learned that really quickly on multiple trips. And it also lays amazing if you're sleeping actually inside of a car. I used this in the back of Missy's CRV and it worked like a champ. I mean, it really did. And I can't usually get comfortable sleeping in her car. Now, we used this pad when we went to Carter Caves and slept in the bunkhouse. and my wife was actually crawling onto my pad all night long to cuddle with me. But laying on that flat plywood, if I'd have slept on either my foam mat or a regular blow-up mat, I would not have been comfortable. And that's why Missy was crawling over here, because she said this mat was more comfortable to sleep on. Now, I do want to say that if you're going to use this, don't try to overload yourself to go out in the backcountry. If you're going to do 7 or 8 miles in a day, it's not worth bringing this. But if you're car camping, or if you're going to go over and like crash in a shelter or crash out in a place that you don't need a actual camping shelter, then this might be okay to bring along. If you're not bringing a tent, bringing this to sleep in a shelter like at Oil Creek or somewhere, it would be amazing, a great option. Now, coming in honestly at the whole 20 to 30 bucks, you really can't go wrong with this one. My personal thinking is, if you have an expensive high-end pad, why jeopardize it having a hole in it, using it in a bad area, or using it at a campsite that might have some glass or something under your tent you don't know about? Buying this will just save the chance of you getting a hole in that pad. Now, in the winter, this is a cheap budget option to be able to sleep and not be cold, because it is insulated. So this could keep you up off the ground, keep you comfortable, and keep you warm at a very low budget price. I really do think that this is probably the best cheap option for side sleepers if you want to go out in the winter. I really believe that it'll work well for that. It's a great option for that. Obviously, it's not a backpacking sleeping pad. We have to know that going into it. And I'm sure that some people try and use that. Maybe I'll go out and do some testing myself, trying to use this with, say, a tarp to where it offsets the weight of a tent. But look for that in an upcoming video. We'll give it a shot and see how it does. Like I said, there'll be links down in the description box below. Please take the time to go down, subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, comment, let us know what kind of car camping sleep pad you're using. And with that said, we'll see you guys in the next one.